The Young and the Restless preview video for the week of March 24-28 reveals that Traci Abbott will cry over fake Alan Laurent, while Billy Abbott finds Phyllis Summers in crisis. Y&R's weekly promo kicks off with Michael Bold when picking up on a hint that Victor Newman offers, one that points to Victor's history with Aristotle Dumas. Once Victor confirms there's indeed a history, he may offer up a story to Michael. Based on Victor's expression in the preview clip, it seems whatever past he has with Aristotle might have involved some betrayals. In the park, Billy will step up for Phyllis, who will be struggling with her emotions following all the captivity chaos. Phyllis won't be coping well at all, so she'll insist she can't let her kids see her like this. After Billy asks how he can help, Phyllis will admit she has an idea. It'll be interesting to see what exactly Phyllis will have in mind, and whether it'll genuinely help her move forward. Billy will no doubt come through for Phyllis if he can, but that could lead to some jealousy for Sally Spectra as these exes grow closer. Other Young and the Restless spoilers say Traci will face a realization that's both alarming and devastating. Once Traci makes a major discovery, she'll give Jack Abbott updates on some unsettling news involving Alan. "I am not sure he is who he says he is," Traci declares in Y&R's weekly preview video with tears in her eyes. Once the kidnapper puzzle starts coming together for Traci, she may realize the real Alan would never do something so wild. Traci may start to suspect that Martin Lawrence survived and that he's swapped in for Alan, so it's easy to see why she'll be so distraught. It could leave Traci making some worried predictions about what Martin will do next. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Traci's blissful engagement bubble will burst, so stay tuned for what's ahead in this heartbreaking storyline. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, March 24, reveal that Phyllis Summers will hide out while Martin Laurent aka Alan Laurent causes some red flags. Chance Chancellor also seems poised to make a discovery, so here's what Y&R fans can look forward to. For starters, Phyllis will feel overwhelmed by her emotions following her whole kidnapping experience. It's clear that Phyllis is a mess after everything she went through, but she won't want her children to witness her spinout. Summer Newman and Daniel Romalotti Jr. have worried enough for a lifetime when it comes to their mother, so Phyllis will try to keep them in the dark on her worsening struggles. Daniel and Summer will continue to worry anyway, but Phyllis will still attempt to avoid them as she deals with her trauma. Fortunately, Phyllis won't be alone in her suffering since Billy Abbott will come to her rescue soon. Since Billy will offer his assistance, Phyllis will take him up on that and accept some help when she needs it most. Billy's support will mean the world to Phyllis, so look for these former flames to enjoy some bonding moments. Meanwhile, some Martin red flags will pile up. Martin is obviously alive and posing as Alan, but he won't cover his tracks well enough to avoid the shockers that are about to unravel. Traci Abbott will keep mulling over those weird phone alerts and how on edge Alan was over them. Following Kyle Abbott's news about the captivity mayhem at the clinic, Traci should still have that on her mind, too. The more Traci thinks about it, the more she may fear there's a link between what happened at the abandoned clinic and those strange clinic-related notifications. The fact that Alan took off suddenly to Paris on the last commercial flight out will also give Traci an unsettled feeling. Despite Alan's insistence that he wants Traci to meet up with him in a couple days for a surprise, his erratic behavior will definitely cause concern. Of course, the biggest clue of all could be coming on the hardware store security footage, since Chance mentioned looking into it. At some point, Chance will make a stunning discovery when he realizes Alan was at that store buying equipment for the room Sharon and Phyllis were held in. Once the investigation starts pointing at Alan, It may not be long until things start clicking into place regarding Martin's survival and his twin impersonation plot. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Chance will draw some conclusions and make some unnerving predictions along the way, so stay tuned for updates on all the twists and turns. The Young and the Restless scoop for Wednesday, March 19 reveals Kyle Abbott will be alarmed by Traci Abbott's story. Also coming up, Nick Newman will be brutally honest with Sharon Newman. Plus, Chelsea Lawson will make a romantic gesture to Adam Newman, and Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins will be surprised about Traci's wedding plans. Why and our spoilers tease Jack will be taken aback to learn that Traci and Alan Laurent have decided to get married in Paris. So I was wondering if we could borrow the company jet to fly over there tonight, she'll ask her brother. Jack will say it feels so rushed. He just proposed a few hours ago and now he wants to whisk you off to Paris. He'll add, it just doesn't sit right with me. So he'll say maybe he should talk to Alan and get his take on it. Why and our daily scoop, Adam and Chelsea give in to their desire. Traci will tell Jack he's taking care of a few things. He's had strange messages on his cell phone. She'll ask Jack why he's so concerned. I would love to be there to witness this love, he'll say, but Traci will tell him she's not going to elope. She wants her family there and for Jack to walk her down the aisle. It would be my honor, he'll say. Then Kyle will arrive and tell him Sharon and Phyllis Summers are fine after their hostage ordeal. I hope they catch the monster who's responsible for this soon, Traci will say. Kyle will spot her engagement ring and congratulate her. Talk will turn to Alan's phone being hacked. Traci will say he's been getting strange text messages. One said security breach at the clinic, precautions enacted, but she'll add they seemed like alerts. That's some coincidence, Kyle will reply. Summer said Phyllis and Sharon were being held at a clinic. Traci will ask him where the clinic is. Kyle will tell her it was an abandoned clinic on the outskirts of town. Traci will say since it was abandoned, there'd be no security to breach. Then Alan will call her and Traci will step away from the table. She'll return and tell her family Alan has purchased the last ticket on the last commercial flight to Paris. He wants her to join him in a couple of days. He is preparing some kind of a big surprise for me, she'll tell them, but she'll look concerned. Meanwhile, Chelsea will decide to return the favor for the romantic dinner Adam prepared for her. She'll make him a quiche Lorraine. Adam will try it and say it's delicious. Eventually, they'll talk about what happened in Baltimore. You said it was a mistake, Adam will point out. We both did, Chelsea will reply. Maybe we were wrong. She'll lean in and kiss him. It'll lead to them making love. Young and the Restless scoop, Summer's worried about her mother. At Crimson Lights, Nick will tell Sharon that going to Europe with her is a tempting offer, but I gotta say no. However, Sharon will say they could go anytime if now isn't a good time for him. Nick will say it's not about work, he just thinks she needs time with her kids. He'll keep an eye on things until she comes back. What if I need you to come, so you can keep an eye on me? Sharon will ask. So Nick will ask if she ever thinks about them. There are times when we're together that I get the sense that you wish something would happen, he'll add. But Sharon will play coy and say she doesn't know what he's talking about. However, she'll admit sometimes she misses what they had. Of course, I've thought about what it'd be like if we were to try again. So she'll tell him it's his turn. Of course I've thought about it, of course I have, he'll reply. But he also remembers the history and all the pain. Nick will add they're in a great place and he probably just messed things up again. I like where we're at. I hope you know that I will always be there for you, no matter what. Sharon will ask if there's anything she can say to change his mind about Europe, and he'll say he'll give it more thought. Finally, a panicked Summer will walk into the coffee shop. She'll tell Nick and Sharon she thinks the kidnapping ordeal has hit Phyllis really hard. She's acting weird, erratic, she's losing her train of thought, Summer will add. So Nick will head out with Summer to check on Phyllis, leaving Sharon alone at Crimson Lights. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, March 19 find Traci in the familiar situation of having been let down by someone she cared about. Diane and Jack are there for comfort. Next on The Young and the Restless, Traci saw some strange texts on Alan's phone. We're not sure why she found them all that strange. He's a psychologist. Why wouldn't he be getting texts about clinics? In any case, Alan offered some platitudes that Traci appeared to believe, though she kept asking questions. Alan does not appear to enjoy questions. Even Traci picked up on that. She shares some of her concerns with Diane and Jack. They love Traci and they want her to be happy. Alan seems to make Traci happy. Why ruin that? Figure it out. Nick tried to pretend that he was as invested in finding Phyllis as he was in finding Sharon when both women were missing. Even Phyllis didn't believe that, and she thinks any man who ever looked in her direction remains in love with her forever. While Phyllis reconnected with her kids and went sobbing to a confused Billy, Nick was talking to Sharon. She had some theories about who could have been keeping them prisoner and guessed it might be somebody with a psychology background. Nick is determined to keep Sharon safe. Oh, and Phyllis, too. Yeah, sure. So when he gets a mystery invitation which might offer him some answers, Nick doesn't ask any questions. All in. Adam and Chelsea are back together. This is exciting primarily to them. So they make out. Hopefully, they will find this equally exciting. That makes two of them. If there's one thing fans of Young and the Restless have learned from Summer and Kyle's entire relationship, it's that love can be a complicated mess. Makeups, breakups, and everything in between, their love story is like a never-ending soap opera within the soap opera. The unbreakable bond. You would think after all the pain and drama, Summer would be ready to move on from Kyle once and for all. But here we are again. Summer is still hopelessly longing for a guy who has left her heartbroken time and time again. The big question remains, why? First of all, Kyle isn't exactly a bad guy. He's charming, good-looking, and when Summer and Kyle are on the same page, they make a pretty great pair. However, that love is always built on a very shaky foundation. Their relationship is forever plagued with more issues than a malfunctioning vending machine. If Kyle and Summer's love story were a movie, it would definitely be rated Drama R for the amount of emotional baggage packed into their past. And by baggage, we mean serious baggage. It all started when Kyle was married to Lola, a relationship that was filled with jealousy and misunderstandings. That should have been the first sign that maybe Summer and Kyle were destined for a love story that couldn't thrive. But did it stop there? Of course not. And yet, here we are, with Summer still pining for him. Why? It's like Summer can't quit the chaos, as if the emotional scars are part of some twisted love language she doesn't want to let go of. Kyle may have wronged her more than once, but maybe there's something about him, something under that perfectly coiffed hair and too good to be true smile that keeps pulling Summer back in. Maybe it's the illusion of what could have been, or the idea that, just maybe, this time, things will work out. But the fact remains, Summer deserves better than Kyle's emotional roller coaster. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Victor Newman and Aristotle Dumas' chilling past will be revealed. Michael Baldwin will learn the secret history Victor shares with Aristotle, so let's talk about what's in store. During the week of March 24-28, Michael will have a conversation with Victor that leaves him curious. It turns out Victor will make a comment regarding Aristotle that alludes to their former connection. That makes it sound like you and Dumas have a history I don't know about, Michael says to Victor in Y&R's weekly preview video. Victor will frown as he confirms he indeed has a history with Aristotle Dumas, but it apparently won't bring back any fond memories. There's a good chance whatever business Victor might have had with Aristotle ended badly. Since Victor is known for showing no mercy, it's possible he made a move against Aristotle and started a feud. We all know that Victor's willing to get down in the mud when it comes to corporate drama. Then again, maybe Aristotle was the one who made an enemy out of Victor instead. There could have been a situation where Aristotle played dirty and kicked off their rivalry years ago. In that case, Victor may have retaliated and sent Aristotle off to lick his wounds, at least until now. Aristotle might have spent some time becoming more powerful in preparation for a revenge plot. Regardless, Victor might be concerned about the possibility of Aristotle striking back based on some old grudge. Troubling news could be brewing depending on what Aristotle's got in store. Even if Victor and Aristotle's feud has been put to rest, you can bet Victor will remain worried about everyone at Winters now that Damian Kane's link to Aristotle has been exposed. Y&R is clearly playing Aristotle up as someone shady and mysterious who's capable of major manipulation. It sounds like Aristotle could become a new baddie in Genoa City, so stay tuned for updates on his agenda. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victor will divulge his history with Aristotle Dumas and make some alarming predictions about what he's capable of, so don't miss what's ahead. The Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, March 19, reveals that Kyle Abbott will have a clinic clue for Traci Abbott, while Summer Newman delivers disturbing Phyllis Summer's news across town. At Crimson Lights, Nick Newman will turn down Sharon Newman's invitation to join her in Europe with Noah Newman and Faith Newman. After Nick pushes Sharon to take some time on her own with their kids, he'll ask for honesty and basically wonder if she ever thinks about them being a couple again. Nick will admit he knows Sharon better than anyone, and sometimes picks up on the fact that she might want something more to happen between them. Sharon will acknowledge that she thinks about the good times and has considered their possible reunion, though she'll deny fantasizing about it. When Sharon pushes Nick to be honest as well, he'll confess he's also thought about the possibility of them getting back together. That said, Nick will acknowledge the pain of the past and will worry he'd just screw things up. After Nick admits he likes the way things are now, he'll assure Sharon that he'll always be there for her. Sharon will still wonder if there's anything she can do to change Nick's mind about the Europe trip, so he'll agree to give it more thought. Soon after, Summer will arrive with some troubling updates since Phyllis has been acting scattered and erratic since her kidnapping ordeal. Nick will dash off to make sure Phyllis is okay, so Sharon will look a little disappointed as he goes. At the GCAC, Traci will tell Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott about her Paris wedding plans and ask for the use of the Jabot jet so she can check out wedding venues with Alan Laurent, aka Martin Laurent. Although Jack will worry about how fast all this is happening, Traci will feel certain that she wants to marry Alan and will make predictions about their bright future. At one point, Traci will insist Alan has never pretended to be anyone else and that he's always been totally himself. Kyle will eventually join the conversation, so he'll bring everyone up to speed on Phyllis and Sharon being found safe. When Kyle hears about Alan's weird phone alerts regarding a security clinic breach, he'll think that's a strange coincidence. Kyle will explain that Sharon and Phyllis were held at a clinic, so offer a kidnapper clue without realizing it. Unfortunately, Traci won't realize it either, and will worry that the captors could be targeting Alan if these messages are tied to the captivity drama. Jack will downplay Traci's concerns in the end, since he'll want her to enjoy the happiness she's found. Things will get even weirder for Traci when Alan calls to reveal that he's taking a solo commercial flight to Paris and that he wants her to join him in a couple days. Traci will talk about a big surprise that Alan is cooking up, so Y&R spoilers suggest he may be setting a trap for her. At home, Chelsea Lawson will reveal a special dinner for Adam Newman to return the favor since he made one for her recently. After Adam and Chelsea talk about living in the moment and giving themselves permission to be messy, they'll land in bed together and make some good memories. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Chelsea and Adam will keep taking things one step at a time for now, so stay tuned for how long this bliss will last. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sally Spectra totally trusts Billy Abbott right now. That is a big clue that she's about to get betrayed in soaps. With Billy spending more time with Phyllis Summers, it's only a matter of time before they end up in bed together. Keep reading and let's talk about what could happen next with this storyline. Adam Newman's cheating. In soaps, betrayal is the name of the game many times. Fans watched after Sally was betrayed by Adam Newman. After he cheated with Chelsea Lawson, Adam spent weeks lying to his girlfriend. The truth hurt a lot more after all the lies and excuses. Sally Spectra's trust. Cheating always makes people wary of new relationships. However, Billy seems to have proven himself. Unfortunately, it seems just as when Sally starts to completely trust her man is when she will likely be betrayed. Even though Sally and Phyllis don't trust one another, the younger redhead gave Billy alone time with her. She doesn't seem to be feeling jealous, but as Billy and Phyllis spend more time together, things could change. Phyllis Summers' kidnapping. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Billy joined forces with Nick Newman to find Phyllis and Sharon Newman. After the big rescue, Phyllis went to talk to Billy about the media company launch. Billy feels guilty about leaving her name off the press release, but she forgave him. Then, Billy asked her for forgiveness as they hugged. In the March 17 episode, the conversation seemed very intimate, but not in a sexual way. It seems there is a real connection still between Billy and Phyllis. Plus, she did have that romantic dream, so that could have been foreshadowing. Unexpected affair. It's quite possible that Billy and Phyllis will have more close moments. Sally might start to get jealous, but won't want to make unfounded accusations. Plus, Phyllis is traumatized from the kidnapping and will likely open up to Billy more about it. That could definitely bond them even closer together. Will Billy be upfront and honest with Sally before things spiral? Since this is a soap, probably not. In the end, it seems Sally will just get heartbroken all over again. While Sally has changed over the years for the better, could this new betrayal send her back to her old ways? It certainly is possible, so stay tuned. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what is coming up next. Sharon Case's character Sharon was involved in another kidnapping on The Young and the Restless. This time Sharon wasn't alone because she was stuck with her longtime enemy Phyllis. Being held captive together changed their relationship in more ways than they can imagine. From enemies to friends. Sharon and Phyllis have a long-standing feud on why and are, although they had rare moments where they were cordial, most of the time the women were fighting. However, their recent kidnapping had the two putting their differences aside. While in captivity, Sharon and Phyllis worked together to escape their kidnapper and his mysterious riddles. Of course, there were times where the women were at each other's throats. However, they proved to be confidantes and lifesavers when things looked gloomy. From the looks of it, Sharon and Phyllis might have formed a bond during captivity. But what happens to their relationship now that they've been rescued? Case gave Soaps in Depth a hint of what's in store for the characters. It gives Sharon and Phyllis some reason in the future to play hot and cold with each other because they still have reasons to feel either way about each other, Case explained. Now, any kind of bonding that they do happen to have happen while they're in the asylum, they have that now as a bond. So now they kind of have to try to find where the relationship really stands and how they feel about each other. I think it's great. It's kind of like Sharon and Nikki. They go back and forth. It's a love/hate relationship. Sharon and Phyllis' newfound bond is bound to go through some obstacles, as previewed by Case. Once the storyline moves on, their relationship is changed off the bat, but I don't know how long that will last or what kinds of changes it will continue to go through after that. I'm sure it will be a lot. Michelle Stafford recently shared a heartfelt message following Phyllis' dramatic rescue on The Young and the Restless. After weeks of suspense, the intense storyline finally reached its climax, leaving fans thrilled and emotional. But beyond the on-screen drama, Stafford made sure to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of her fellow cast members. Her message wasn't just about wrapping up the storyline, it was a celebration of the people who brought it to life. From emotional performances to behind-the-scenes teamwork, she reminded fans that the magic of soap operas is created through passion, talent, and commitment. A message of gratitude. Phyllis and Sharon's nightmare at Havener's psychiatric facility finally ended last week, but for Stafford, this was more than just another storyline. The actress took a moment to share her appreciation for the people she works with every day. "So that's a wrap of that story," Stafford said in a special video. "These are my beautiful friends that I love so much and get to work with every day." Her words weren't just a simple goodbye to the storyline. They were a heartfelt tribute to the entire The Young and the Restless team. The cast's chemistry and dedication made this gripping plot even more powerful, and Stafford wanted everyone to know just how much she valued them. The final rescue scene was intense, emotional, and executed to perfection. Stafford and Sharon Case revealed that they nailed the dramatic moment in just one take. "Oh, can we just say what it is?" Stafford exclaimed. "Sharon and I did that mother of **** in one take. This level of chemistry and professionalism is what makes soap operas so compelling." Fans praised the duo for delivering such a raw and realistic performance, making the high-stakes moment feel even more intense. The high-stakes rescue on The Young and the Restless. The storyline's final moments kept viewers on edge. Chance led the way, gun drawn, while Nick kicked down the door to save Sharon. Meanwhile, Billy rushed to Philly's side, ensuring both women made it out safely. But the rescue wasn't the end of the mystery. Traci discovered a cryptic message on Alan's phone about a security breach. Fans are now questioning whether Alan was the true villain, or if his evil twin Martin was behind everything. Though Phyllis is free, her struggles are far from over. The trauma from Havenhurst may shape her future in unexpected ways. With lingering secrets and unanswered questions, The Young and the Restless is far from done with this storyline. As for Michelle Stafford, her gratitude and excitement show just how much she loves being part of the soap world. One thing's for sure, more drama is coming. For the latest updates on your favorite soap stars, visit Soap Opera Daily. The Young and the Restless airs on CBS all weekdays. Make sure you tune in and enjoy. The Young and the Restless spoilers shocked Traci. She had always been a picture of radiant joy, a beacon of hope amid life's uncertainties. In the soft glow of a late autumn afternoon, she held the delicate engagement ring in her trembling hands, its glimmer promising a future full of happiness and endless celebrations. The ring, a symbol of Alan's commitment, filled her with dreams of a blissful wedding day, where she imagined herself in a beautiful gown, surrounded by the laughter and well wishes of friends and family. Every detail of that fantasy was etched in her mind, a vision so vivid that it temporarily erased the darker shades of her reality. But as fate would have it, the shimmering promise of love was nothing more than an elaborate illusion. Unbeknownst to Traci, the very man who had once seemed to embody hope and warmth harbored secrets that would shatter her dreams. One fateful evening, driven by an inexplicable urge to uncover the truth, Traci stealthily followed Alan. From a concealed vantage point, she watched in silent horror as he drove away in a sleek black car, its taillights disappearing into the encroaching dusk. Her heart pounded in her ears as she followed his trail, a growing sense of foreboding guiding her steps. The pursuit led her to an old, decrepit building, an abandoned house that reeked of neglect and hidden danger. Its broken windows and crumbling walls painted a grim picture, a stark contrast to the vibrant future she had envisioned just hours before. With a mix of trepidation and determination, Traci edged closer, her mind racing through a labyrinth of questions. What was Alan doing here? Why had he come to this forsaken place? and most disturbingly, who could possibly be held captive within these desolate walls. Steeling herself for what she might find, Traci pushed open the creaking door and slipped inside. The interior was shrouded in shadows, with only the faint light seeping through cracks in the boarded-up windows. As her eyes adjusted, she discovered two figures bound to chairs in a corner of a dilapidated room. It was Sharon and Phyllis, two women whose lives were as intertwined with her own as the threads of a complicated tapestry. Their faces, etched with lines of worry and despair, told a story of silent suffering. Traci's heart sank at the sight, and she instinctively vowed, "I will rescue you both." In that tense moment, as Traci's declaration hung in the air, a sudden sound stirred the stillness of the room. Sharon's eyes widened, and she moved as if to scream, a cry of terror about to be unleashed. But Phyllis, ever the cautious one, placed a trembling hand over Sharon's mouth. "Quiet, please," she whispered urgently. "If we make a sound, he'll know. Remember, our captor is watching us through those damn cameras." The realization that their every move was under surveillance only deepened the atmosphere of dread. Traci's resolve was now tempered by the gravity of the situation. The specter of the kidnapper loomed large, a silent threat that watched every whispered word and every desperate plea. The young and the restless spoilers. The unraveling of deception in a world where secrets fester beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary leaves. A perfect plan can turn into a labyrinth of deception, betrayal, and hidden motives. Martin's meticulously orchestrated strategy had everything in place, leaving no loose ends. Every piece of the puzzle had been arranged with the precision of a master tactician, and nothing was left to chance. Yet, as is often the case with even the best-laid plans, unforeseen complications emerged to threaten its flawless execution. Paris, the enchanting city that once represented a beacon of hope and renewal, now teetered on the brink of chaos. Amid the turmoil, Paris herself felt a deep sense of foreboding. She was racked with anxiety, her heart pounding as the realization struck her. Danger was closing in. Despite the plans that beckoned her to come to Paris, she found herself paralyzed by an inner voice urging caution, a warning that the very air around her was laden with peril. In another part of this intricate web of schemes, Traci found herself overwhelmed by conflicting advice and divergent opinions. Seeking counsel from a host of trusted confidants, she was bombarded by voices, each urging her to choose a different path. Among these voices was Kyle, whose unwavering concern for her safety led him to caution her about Alan. Kyle's eyes had seen too much. His gut told him that Alan, once a figure of trust, now exhibited unsettling signs of duplicity. He had observed subtle yet unmistakable indicators, furtive glances, evasive responses, that suggested Alan was concealing something far more sinister than anyone had suspected. But not everyone was as cautious as Kyle. Jack and Diane, two pillars of what once seemed to be a harmonious life, implored Traci to let go of her suspicions. Why dwell on shadows when the present is so full of promise? They would say, urging her to embrace the joy of the moment and leave behind the weight of mistrust. Their insistence was rooted in a desperate desire to preserve the happiness they had built together. Yet their dismissals only added layers to the complexity of the situation, as it became clear that not all was as blissful as it appeared on the surface. The stakes were high, and the atmosphere was thick with tension. Every passing moment carried an air of impending doom. "Everything is absolutely awful for us" became the refrain echoing through hushed conversations and secretive glances, a stark reminder that beneath the veneer of normalcy lay a tumultuous undercurrent of discontent and danger. Unbeknownst to many, Kyle had embarked on a covert investigation into Martin's enigmatic maneuvers. With a steadfast determination to uncover the true nature of Martin's actions, he delved into the mystery with the persistence of a detective chasing down a long, elusive lead. His mission was twofold: to reveal the real identity of the man behind the carefully constructed facade, and to uncover any distinguishing features or hidden connections that might exist between Martin and Alan. After all, there was a nagging suspicion in his mind. If there was one thing Kyle believed, it was that Martin and Alan shared some unspoken, perhaps even sinister, commonality. Was there a symbol, a habit, or a single trait that could tie these two together? Kyle was determined to find the answer. The tension reached a fever pitch when Alan, ever vigilant and fiercely protective of his secrets, discovered that he was being followed. His eyes narrowed as he caught sight of someone trailing him, a shadow determined to uncover his private dealings. "What the hell is going on here?" Alan barked, his voice edged with anger and suspicion. "Why are you following me? What are you trying to accomplish?" His tone left no room for misunderstanding. Alan was not a man to be trifled with. The confrontation was not merely about being watched. It was about protecting the integrity of his carefully guarded secrets. Matters took a dramatic turn when it was revealed that Traci, the very person many believed to be a victim of circumstance, was at the heart of this intrigue. The revelation that Traci was somehow connected to the surveillance and the investigation sent shockwaves through the already fragile alliances. Alan's anger deepened as he realized that Traci was more than just a bystander in this unfolding drama. "I can't believe you'd stoop so low," he seethed, his voice low and dangerous. "To think that you were behind this mess all along, it's unforgivable." As the layers of deception continued to peel away, the lines between friend and foe blurred. Martin's perfect plan, once the embodiment of calculated precision, now teetered on the edge of collapse under the weight of accumulating suspicions. Parisi's inner turmoil and reluctant hesitation about joining the fray added another layer of complexity, leaving her to wonder whether the allure of Paris could ever be reconciled with the dread that permeated her every thought. Meanwhile, Traci found herself caught in an emotional maelstrom. The conflicting counsel from Kyle on one hand and the insistence from Jack and Diane on the other left her feeling isolated and overwhelmed. She was torn between the desire for the carefree life that Jack and Diane championed and the unsettling truths that Kyle's warnings forced her to confront. The young and the restless spoilers hint that Claire Newman's pregnancy might be the only way to stop Summer Newman. Will Kyle Abbott's baby create a forever bond with Claire and change the game? Summer has a forever link of her own with Kyle, since they're co-parenting Harrison Abbott. As Harrison's adoptive mother, Summer is always going to be connected to Kyle through the child they share. Y and R fans know Summer has definitely been using this Harrison bond to her advantage lately. Claire cares about Harrison too, so Summer must realize it's the one angle she can work without getting too much pushback from Kyle and his girlfriend. That said, Claire can tell what Summer's up to and certainly doesn't like it. Despite Claire's attempts to act like she's not feeling threatened, insecurities are clearly creeping up and could lead to bigger problems. Victor Newman has been hyping up how Summer and Kyle need to present a united front for Harrison's sake. Although Victor would prefer to see both granddaughters free of Kyle, he'd obviously rather see Kyle with Summer than Claire. However, there might be a way for Claire to level the playing field when it comes to Summer. Since there's been so much focus on how Harrison links Kyle and Summer, could Claire end up pregnant and give Kyle a permanent link to her as well? It might be interesting if Claire's sneaky side came out to play a little bit here. Jordan raised Claire, so that part of her is still in there somewhere, just waiting to come out for a new storyline. Could Claire get pregnant on purpose and hope it locks in her future with Kyle? Summer could at least accuse Claire of that if she ends up with Kyle's bun in the oven. Even if Claire gets pregnant by mistake due to some birth control mishap, Summer could still toss accusations around and add to the conflict between them. Perhaps Summer could try to get inside Kyle's head and act like Claire's trying to trap him. Whatever the case, Kyle and Claire have been sleeping together for a while now, so the door's wide open for a pregnancy story if Y and R wants to go there. The young and the restless spoilers say Victor will continue to make doomed predictions about Kyle and Claire's future, but will he be proven right? Could Kyle and Claire's baby be the game changer that Claire needs? Summer, Kyle and Claire's love triangle will come with more twists and turns, so stay tuned for updates on any stunning news ahead. The young and the restless spoilers suggest that fans should always expect the unexpected in the land of Genoa City. Right now, the drama in the little town is hitting a fever pitch. However, there is always the possibility that some major plot twists hit that could shake things up even more. What could go down? Time to speculate. Alan is not Martin, but actually Alan, undercover mental health issues. When fans found out that Alan Laurent was the one behind Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman's kidnapping, everyone assumed that Alan was really his evil twin brother, Martin Laurent, who loved parading around as his brother. Audiences have long suspected that Alan was the one who passed away after the twins struggle and tumble off a balcony in Paris last year that caused Martin's death. Many believed that Martin switched spots with Alan at that point and assumed his identity. That may be the case, but what if it isn't? Maybe Alan's odd behavior is because he suffered from a mental health illness in light of everything that's happened in his life, and being the reason behind his brother's passing. Maybe Alan isn't Martin, but really Alan, coping with a mental disorder. While Philly reunites, Sally and Daniel hook up. Phyllis and Billy Abbott are getting closer, and as he was one of the heroes in rescuing her, this will only bond the two that much further. As she and Billy head toward a romantic reunion, Sally Spectra will find herself suddenly single again. But guess who else in Genoa City is single? Daniel Romalotti is still mourning the passing of his partner, Heather Stevens, but this doesn't mean he may not decide it's time to move on. How upset would Phyllis be when she realized that by snagging Billy from Sally, she opened the door to the redhead to engage in romance with her son? Jordan is alive. Fans know Ian Ward is alive and well and just waiting for the villain to pounce again. One thing that would be a shocking plot twist is if Jordan strikes and returns before Ian does. May Sweeps is around the corner, so anything is possible.